for the year, he would be a good addition.
Right. Yeah, I could just really think about that right there. Yeah. Right now, if I'm the Lakers, I guess the most important thing right here for them to do, tank, 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 tank. Just go ahead and tank. Just go ahead and basically call the season out. Try to get yourself enough, enough ping pong balls out there to just go ahead and tank right now. That's the only thing I can really think about right now.
I agree with you. I mean, Kobe doesn't look like he's going to come back at 100%. You're not going to make the playoffs. It would make more sense to tank. Honestly, I think Kobe should set the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Get your Derrick Rose on, chill your team on, let them grow together and just chill. Chill out. You just got this new deal from LA,
Mm-hmm.
so you're not going anywhere. Chill out.
Right.
And but what do you think Mike D'Antoni's safe?
Honestly, probably no. They can get somebody else, really. Um, yeah. What do you think?
I think he definitely needs to watch his back because I mean I just don't get why he would feel the job is safe because one, they're not winning, two, his system doesn't look like it's necessarily doing them any favor. So yeah, I don't think he should feel comfortable.
Hmm. Let's see. I'm getting some text right now here. So for somebody that really wants to do an Andy Dalton debate, I'll just go ahead and probably just tell them to call up. But as we're doing this, but yeah, we're just man, just I guess in that case, you just have to really just tank. Maybe Dan Tony's job is safe. Maybe Matt Tony's job is not safe. If they feel like they can possibly get somebody else, maybe they can, but I don't know. So yeah, maybe there's that. Um, any other news right now that I can try to think about that's in the sports world right now? Here, I guess right now we got ourselves some college basketball coming back into the four-way with now conference matchups.
Oh yeah. Right now, who's your favorite to well, I don't want to say to win and all anything, but what's the team right now that you're looking at to make some noise for probably from tournament time?
Um, Michigan State's got to be one. Michigan State always is one. I feel like that they're always a tough team out there to play pretty well and stuff. I guess another team that you could probably include in there, Arizona's a nice team. Oregon can try to make some noise here and there. Can't forget about Duke and North Carolina here, because we've seen at least from the start of the year, Carolina. It's like the bad teams they don't show up for, but for the good teams they really do show up. So there's that. You?
Um, Duke, of course. I think Kansas is going to do well, but Kareem Wiggins, to me, after seeing him a couple more games, I don't think he's necessarily a superstar in the making right now. I mean, if he were to get drafted today, I see kind of the Marvin Williams approach going on. Like, he'd probably be on the bench a lot. I just don't see it really. I see a lot of athleticism. I see a lot of raw talent, but I don't see anything worth molding into right now or, being an all-star or anything like that right now
Right.
compared to Jabari Parker.
By the way, we have ourselves a call in right here. Hold on one second. Hello, caller. State your name.
This is Nick.
Hey, how you doing, Nick?
I'm doing good. Actually, Carl Woodline knows me. I'm basically part of the Source Broadcasting team from 2 years ago.
Okay.
You guys were there for the last year.
Okay.
The Source Broadcast camp in LA.
Okay. Great. I understand that you have a question for us.
Yeah, I was just wondering about Cincinnati and their performance today. What do you guys think of what they should do in the future with Andy Dalton and the football team?
I think Andy Dalton is safe. I mean, this is only his third year. I think he has a lot of potential. He just had a bad game. He had a bad performance, but I wouldn't put it all on him. I mean, the defense.
The defense, I mean, you saw multiple times, they need some big stops, some big moments. And Andy Dalton, they've been talking for years about him being the one guy that can't get it done. It just seems to me in big moments that he can't come through. I mean, how can you overlook a guy that has thrown six picks and only one touchdown in 3 playoff games, all of them wild card matchups, against teams like Houston and San Diego, who barely got into the playoffs to begin with? I think Dalton is the one guy that is preventing them from going a long way. I mean, you can't ask for a better supporting cast. Are you telling me that Andy Dalton needs more players on his team than A.J. Green, Martin Sanu, and Tyler Eifert? I mean, Tom Brady has Fumanamanu'i as this tight end, and what's Darren Dobson or whatever at wideout? You gotta be kidding me. There's no way Andy Dalton is not the person that needs to replace.
All right, Nick. I ask you this: do you think? All right, one, who do you replace him with? And two, I mean, do you think it's because the other younger players like Andrew Luck and guys like Russell Wilson, they're doing so well and they're younger? Do you think that's?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they're the outliers. I mean, there's nobody who's better than Andrew Luck, who's that young, that talented. I mean, he's just a special player. Russell Wilson, same thing. But you can't expect to get at least someone to the level of Andy Dalton. It's not necessarily trying to find a superstar. It's just you know that Andy Dalton, the red rifle, when they can get someone in the draft. I mean, there's like 6 or 7 potential great quarterbacks in this year's draft. I mean, why not take a shot, especially when your offense only scored 10 points in the last 2 playoff games? I mean, I feel like that's in league.
I hear what you I hear your frustration, but at the same time, I mean, let's look at the landscape of NFL quarterbacks right now. I mean, when you get past Breeze, Rodgers, Brady, Manning, and then you go second tier to like Phillip Rivers, Big Ben, Andrew Luck now, there's a huge drop off. So I mean, good quarterbacks are hard to come by. Granted, he's not doing well in the postseason, but it's only his 3rd year. I mean, Peyton Manning, he didn't develop, this greatness overnight. Tom Brady walked into a good situation and he didn't become elite to me until, later in his career. I mean, maybe we're jumping the gun a bit.
Tom Brady won a Super Bowl in his 2nd year, though. He hasn't won a playoff game in 3.
Tom Brady walked into a great situation, though. I see what you're saying. But
you're telling me Andy Dalton's not a great situation? I'm just saying he doesn't, to me, as looking, he doesn't pass the eye test. He doesn't. I look at him and I think that guy is average. He's a 3rd-tier quarterback. You mentioned a drop-off between 1 and 2. I want to know another drop-off between 2 and 3. We got guys all over Twitter today saying, hey, look, is that Tony Romo wearing red hair?
Wow.
I mean, say what you will, but I think Andy Dalton is not to the level Phil Rivers is today.
I'll go ahead and also, if I could jump in here on this one too, that what Andy Dalton kind of reminds me of right now is the same struggles that Matt Ryan has went through too, and I would say that Matt Ryan is pretty much right or wrong there in that same level. Maybe that that in between that 2nd tier, 3rd tier type guy, which he had trouble really trying to get through. Because remember, 2008, he couldn't do it in his 1st year, obviously so. Did not make the playoffs in 09. 10, the Falcons had the 1st seed out there, and they blew away. And 11, they did not do a pretty good job. And it had to take him into his 5th season to really get that one playoff game, where a lot of people were saying a lot of stuff about making fun of the Falcons and making fun of him as well. And...
Right. I mean, even with Joe Flacco, too, it took him 5 years to win a Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah. So I'm
just saying, though, if it's not Andy Dalton, who is it? Or is it just everybody combined fell short?
I think it. Now Dalton gets a. Now don't get me wrong, Nick. Dalton gets a huge when we do a pie chart of the blame. He gets a huge piece of it.
Yes.
He gets a huge piece of that blame. But at the same time, I think it's enough blame to go around too. I want to ask you this: do you think Marvin Lewis? Do you think he's the answer, their head coach? Do you think he do you keep going the same direction?
No, absolutely not. I mean, they have great coordinators, especially like Tim. I don't know about the offensive coordinator, Jay Gruden. I think the jury's still out on him, but doesn't Marvin Lewis remind you a little bit of Gary Kubiak, where he just couldn't get his quarterback to the next level in Texas? I mean, they looked like a great team, but they didn't have to beat the quarterback. But it was always on that job, and it turned out it was just the coach that couldn't get him to the next level. They started falling apart. I think Cincinnati, if they don't look at Houston's situation, they may be in the same exact boat. I don't feel like I'm far off by saying it. After losing that game, either Andy Dalton or Marvin Lewis has to go if they want to change things.
I would say I agree with you there. I would think Dalton deserves at least another year though. At least give him a 4-year plan. At least give him a 4-year plan. Now Marvin Lewis has had plenty of time. He's had a decade plus.
Yes.
So, clearly he's the common denominator. But it's interesting you bring up Houston because I want to know what Matt Schaub went from a guy who was a Pro Bowler, a guy that people said, he's a solid, average guy to being god awful. Do you think Kubiak was a play? What happened? How did that drop off happen?
It was just it was games like this in the playoffs where Houston, they did beat Cincinnati, but they couldn't get past Baltimore a couple of years ago. They couldn't. I forget who they played last year, but they just couldn't get it done offensively. They were great everywhere. They just weren't excellent in the key positions. The quarterback was one of them. It's a quarterback-driven league. In my mind, Cincinnati, Houston are just two of the puzzle. If you don't have your guy, you gotta figure it out sooner rather than later. I think Marvin Lewis goes, and this is a contract year. This year and next for Andy Dalton, you gotta prove yourself. Otherwise, Cincinnati has to start over quarterback position too. There are a number of coaches where they could have taken advantage of, and there still are plenty on the market. I mean, we're talking Ken Whisenhunt, Chargers offensive coordinator. We're talking a couple of collegiate guys that can step up to the next level. I mean, we're talking Cincinnati. If things aren't working out, they got to move on. They can't beat Houston in 2014.
Right, and at the same time, that division's only going to get harder. Pittsburgh's not going to be that bad next year.
Right.
Baltimore's going to get it together, and the Cleveland Browns are a sneaky good team. They're a piece or two away, and they got to get a coach too.
Honestly, though, I think this can be debatable, but I think Cleveland had something going until they let go of their head coach. I don't know
I agree.
Replacing the coach that many years is really going to do any benefits then.
I agree. I think Cleveland is just an organization of knee-jerk reactions. I think they just I don't know what they have going on there, but it's clearly they don't like developing anything. They want microwave results. But I want to ask you right now with the playoff scenario, give us your thoughts and predictions on these next couple of games for next weekend.
Okay, so this week, basically my main takeaway was that one, San Francisco was who we thought they were. They are a solid team that can play defense and win asked of them. Colin Kaepernick can take the toll. He had a struggle midway through the season, came through, and the Michael Crabtree factor was even bigger than we thought, but still, San Francisco is who we thought they were. New Orleans is there's still a jury out on them. I think their matchup against Carolina is going to be huge, and then Seattle, they do play the Saints. I'm forgetting who the divisional matchups. I won't even talk about wild card anymore. Give me the matchups, and I'll let you know what I think.
Saints and Seattle.
Seattle is just too talented. I think Seahawks get it done. They're just, especially New Orleans, we saw their performance in Seattle. There's no way they're going to flip it around like that in 4 weeks.
Wow. San Francisco and